Well, we got another inch or more rain last night, and we might get a few sprinkles today, but I think we're gonna have a couple days of reprieve coming up. But with all the rain we've had, I'm gonna do a quick drive around in the side-by-side, and we'll see if I check the back of the property, make sure we don't have any damage back there. And then I need to feed hay to the heifers, and the problem is I don't think I'm gonna be able to get to that hay without really rutting everything up. It's a very muddy day, and we're just gonna have to deal with it, I guess. So besides being a muddy day, it's a pretty cold day too. The temperature has dropped, and it's supposed to go back below freezing, I think, next couple nights. So pretty chilly out. I feel like I should have a jacket on. Oh, you hear the water. Oh man, hayfield is like a swamp. I don't know how well that camera's gonna pick it up, but man, it's like I'm continuous mud puddle out here. Luckily I don't see any trees down. Everything looks fairly well besides being a soppy, marshy mess out here. So I didn't see any damage at the back of the property, no trees laying down in the hayfield. So we'll go ahead and fire up the tractor, see if we can go get a hay bale and feed it to the heifers. Well, looking at the tractor, you can definitely tell we've got quite a bit of rain. The whole bucket is full of water, and it's as full as it could be because it's got these little holes in here where it drain out. So can't be any fuller than that. All right, see if we can get a dry seat. Come on, Maya. Come here, darling. Look, Maya. She's smart enough to walk around the edge. Hi, sweetie. Got some hay. So a few weeks ago, I came out here and I put up some temporary fencing, but I put it around the orchard and I let the sheep come out here and graze. And they'd been out here several different days. And then finally one day, they actually started eating the bark off of one of my apple trees. And this here is a young Gala apple tree, and you can see they stripped the bark off all the way up this side right here. And that may end up killing this tree. So I readjusted the electric fence so they couldn't get to the main part of the orchard. I've got a couple young trees here that I didn't want them to kill. I thought, well, they probably won't affect these larger trees. So these 3 trees here are still inside of where the sheep were. And then the other day, they started eating one of these. They were reaching up and they were eating the bark off of the limb right there. So I need to adjust this temporary electric fence again and completely keep out all the trees of the orchard so that they don't damage them. And in an attempt to try to save this tree here, I'm gonna use some pruning sealer on it and it just kind of paint over where they stripped off the bark. That'll seal off that area. I don't know whether that'll help or not, but the damage is done. And I figure anything I do is at least gonna improve its chances of living longer. So normally you would put this on some of your large cuts when you're pruning trees to seal the ends. And it says you can use it on abrasions or wounds or whatever on the tree. But I think it just seals it off, so hopefully it'll keep it from actually drying out. All right, I got that one all coated up. Hopefully that helps. Oh, it is cold out here. So these 2 spots were the only places we found damaged. These are both apple trees. Worst case scenario, we could lose 1 limb off of this tree, but that young tree over there, we could end up losing the whole tree. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens, and hopefully this sealer helps a little bit. Open it back up for the sheep. Well, it appears that my fence charger is not on. Let's say the battery's dead. All right, I pulled out the battery. It's just a normal 12-volt deep cycle battery. It from the date code, it's 3 years old. It's been working fine in here since I put it in. So I'm gonna take it back, see if I can get it charged up. And maybe it's a bad battery. It could also be the charge controller. Maybe it's not charging it up. Plus it's been cloudy and rainy, and that's probably not helping either. See if we can see what the voltage is on this battery. 5 volts. That is a very dead battery. See if we can see where the water level is. Oh man, there's no liquid in it. It looks empty. So as we look down inside of here, there should be water. You can actually see the lead plates down in there. So we need to add distilled water to this. All right, we'll check the voltage again just to see what happened adding water. Well, it went up to 6.7 volts, went up a little bit. Turn the charger back on. Ugh. Sure does not act like it is happy. I'm gonna hook it up to the lawnmower, see if the charger works on the lawnmower. All right, let's see what happens here. And it seems to work fine on the lawnmower. That is not a good sign. So this deep cycle battery has probably been bad for a while now. And the weird thing about it is, a few weeks ago I set up this temporary fence and I checked the fence energizer and it was working the way it should. It was shocking the way it should. And everything appeared to be working fine. But now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, it was a nice sunny day that day. So I think the fence energizer was working directly off of the solar panel, and that's why it worked fine that day. But as soon as the sun went down, it probably stopped working. As soon as it's cloudy like today, it's not working. And yeah, I think I learned that you can't just check it during the day. You almost have to check it at night as well to make sure it's working when there is no solar. So that's something different that I'll have to make sure to do. Now, the other thing is this is not a maintenance-free battery. You're supposed to top this off with water, with distilled water every so often. And of course, I never did that. It's been sitting out in the pasture for 3 years, right? So if I can get another battery, I'll probably try to get a maintenance-free one if I can find one. And that's a completely sealed battery. You don't have to add water to it. I don't have to worry about it. So I think that's what I'm gonna try to do when I replace this. So before I go buy a new battery, I hooked it up to the battery charger one more time, and it did start to take a little bit of a charge. So I'm gonna let it sit on there overnight on a slow charge. We'll see if it ends up coming out of it, see if it ends up charging up. If not, I'll just go buy a new deep cycle battery later this week. So you guys probably can't hear that, but it's actually raining again. And it's rained real heavy over the last 4 days. It rained heavy last night. So by this morning, we had over 8 inches of rain in 4 days. And I know there's a lot of people that I've read in the comments, you know, down in Kentucky and different places that have had, I think, up to 15. It's just been a wet week this last week. Of course, now, today's the 5th day. It's raining again, and it's not a heavy rain today, at least. It's more of a light drizzle going on, but instead of working outside, I think I'm gonna sand these oak tops that me and Rebecca glued together the other day, see if I can get both sides of it all smoothed out. That's gonna at least give me something to do inside. So this is the one I said wasn't perfectly flat, and I had it rocking the other day. I think it rocked a little more than it normally would because there's a bunch of glue here on the bottom. So let me get that sanded off and then we'll see how flat it really is. All right, so this is the board I said that wasn't perfectly flat, and we're on the bottom of the board right now. So if I push up on this side, I've got about a 1/16 of a inch of a gap over on this side. Push down. Wow. Even more on this side. 1/8 of an inch gap on this side over here. That's quite a bit. That's terrible. Well, it is the next day, and it is the first day I have seen the sun in 5 days, I guess 6 days or so. Yeah, so it looks amazing out here. It is nice to see blue skies, that is for sure. Man, the grass is getting tall back here. But it's also very wet as well, so I don't think I'm gonna be mowing the yard just yet. And here comes the ducks. They must be out of food. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to throw water at you. So I was walking around the pond looking for duck eggs, and the crows always beat us to them. And I only found one the other day that was good, and I finally found another one. Doesn't look like a duck egg, does it? It's all covered in mud. There's a couple nests here on the dam, and they're like in the mud. And I was asked to collect these for a school class to see if they could hatch out ducks in their class, and just have not had much luck at it. I'm up to 2. I think they would like to have a lot more than that if I could find them. So just lightly wiping off all the mud, and the duck egg looks good, no cracks. So yeah, we just have 2 so far. And I'm sure the class would like to have more than just 2 duck eggs to try to hatch out. I was trying to get somewhere between like 6 and 12 that I could give to them, but I don't know if that's going to end up happening. So I unhooked this battery from the battery charger about 10 minutes ago. So we'll go ahead and see what voltage it's holding. 12.74 volts, somewhere in there. So it appears to be charged up. I think we'll go ahead and take it back out there and hook it up to the fence charger. Oh. All right, I'm just gonna hook up the fence charger first. And it's on. That's good. Now we'll hook up our solar panel. All right, fence charger's working and the solar charge controllers looks good. Come on. Come on, you use. Come on. I'll try to come back later with a fence tester, actually see what the voltage is on it, but I gotta do the morning chores. Oh, this barnyard is just a mess. Hello, Mama. How are you? I need to bring you more straw, don't I? I think I got more on me than I did the floor. Oh man, I got straw in my boot and it is poking my feet. Well, I got straw in my shirt, in my boots, got it everywhere. So this fence energizer electrifies this single wire that goes down the fence line, and then I can hook on my temporary fence reels and set up that temporary fence. And it is reading 6,000 volts, so I think that's good. Since it's such a beautiful day today, I really wanted to do something outside. But the problem is the ground is so saturated that I can't use tractors or equipment. I'll rut everything up. I'll end up doing more harm than good. So I was trying to figure out what I could do today without using any equipment. And then it hit me that I've got these protein tubs. I've been saving them over the last couple years. And I want to turn those empty protein tubs into like something that we can use for a container garden and be able to grow some of our garden vegetables in. So earlier this week I did grab these protein tubs and throw them out here in the garden. And well, you can see this one is full of water from all the rain we got. Yeah, this one too. About half full of water. I ran over to the garage, I got a measuring tape. I'm just curious how much water is in these because this should pretty well reflect how much rain we got over the last 5 days. All right, I get my measuring tape down in here. That's like 9 inches of water. This one's nice and clear, a lot cleaner water in this one. Same thing, 9 inches of water. So these black protein tubs, these are ones from this year. I went over to the barn, I grabbed a couple red ones that were from last year. And I think I got 2 more of these if I need them. But the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get a drill, like a 1/2-inch drill probably. And I'm gonna drill holes in the bottom. There's a bunch of deer running through the woods right now. Well, you're not gonna see it, but there's a total, I'd say there's 7 or 8 of them. And they're going through this woods and going that direction. Definitely not gonna show up in camera, but I counted at least 7. Right there, and they're crossing over. Our boat's over there too. I need to go get it. And that's one of the things I love about being out here in the country is being able to watch all of the wildlife. I mean, we already got our sheep and the cattle, and we've got our ducks, then we can watch them all the time from the porch. But the deer are present all the time, it seems like. It seems like they'll be on the opposite side of the fence, grazing almost right next to the sheep with a fence in between them, and we'll see the deer out in the hayfield all the time. They'll be up here in the woods, they'll come up to the pond and get a drink. And then of course we got gray herons, we've got wild ducks. There's just a ton of nature out here to watch, and it's such a peaceful setting. And now that I'm out here all the time, I see so much more of it. it's so much more prevalent now that I spend so much time outside. But yeah, it's definitely enjoyable to just stop and just watch for a while in such a, I mean, it's such a peaceful atmosphere. Way better than living in town, that's for sure. So how many holes should I put in these? Wow, that drilled really easy. All right, there's 10 holes. So right now our garden area is inside of this temporary fence for the sheep to be able to graze any of the weeds and grass and stuff that's in there. So I don't want to put the containers where the sheep can get to them. So what I think I'll do is I'll just put these containers out here by the orchard. We got a water hydrant right here where we can keep them watered. We can keep our eye on them. And then once our garden is ready, we can just move them over here into the garden. And the good thing, that's a good thing about these containers. They are small enough that they are somewhat mobile. We can move them around as we need. So what I'm gonna plant is Kennebec russet potatoes. I've got some at the farm store. They already got the eyes growing out of them. I'm gonna put 3 whole potatoes in each container. I've got a total of 12 here. We're gonna do 4 containers. And I figure potatoes is like the perfect thing to try to grow in one of these, because instead of having to dig them up when you're done, I can just take that container and I can dump it out, like onto maybe a tarp or something. I can just dump it out. You can find all the potatoes, and then you can put your soil back in. I just figured it'll make harvesting a lot easier if this works out. I'm just gonna, I don't know, bury them about 6 inches deep. I'd say I can always add more soil to the top of it or mulch it with some straw. I'm gonna try to take these eyes and point them up when I plant them, I guess. Anything to maybe help. So in this pot, I'm gonna plant some onion bulbs. I bought these because I planted my onion seeds so late. This will at least give me some onions a little bit earlier. I'll probably put these in here, I don't know, 4 inches apart from each other, probably. But I always like growing onions because they go in so many different recipes. Pretty versatile. Seems funny after all that rain we got and I'm sitting here watering plants. Well, I guess I can say gardening season has started. I officially have something planted outside now. So slowly but surely we will have a garden this year. But right now, I think I want to go across the pond. I want to see if I get our boat back. The pond came up with all that rain and it floated our boat away. And it's on the far side of the pond. It's actually tucked inside of an inlet right now. So I'm hoping it's close enough to the shoreline that I can get out there and get a hold of that boat, pull it up on shore, get all the water out of it, and then maybe I can get it back to this side. Well, all the ducks are kind of in my way. Look out, ducks. Well, don't mind me, okay? Well, you probably can't see it, but the boat is tucked in back there. All right, there she is. Oh, that's a huge turtle. He's right there. Huge turtle. He's gonna take off. Can you see him? He's right there. He's a huge turtle, like a foot in diameter. So I doubt you guys could see that, but there's a huge snapping turtle right next to that boat. And, you know, its head, you know, as big as my fist and my arm, his neck and stuff. I mean, they're just huge. And, yeah, I don't think I want to step in the water right there. That's for sure. He is still there. I see him. I catch him every once in a while. That's why Rebecca won't ever step into the pond. It's because she's scared of all these snapping turtles. I don't necessarily blame her either. Well, I could see that snapping turtle went toward the pond, so you may watch me get wet. Oh, I got it. That's good. Ooh, she's full of water, but still floating. There's a rope in here. I just gotta try to get to it. Rope is not quite long enough. Oh, there's a hole in my boot. This is when you find out when there's a hole in your boot. Oh man, that is mucky. It just sinks. Oh, just broke the end off of the oar. It wasn't in very good shape anyway. All right, finally got the rope that's tied to the front of the boat. So at least I got it up here on the shore. I really needed to have like a bucket probably to bail out all the water that's in this. And I broke the oar. So I don't really think I'm gonna be paddling this back to the other side of the pond. So I think it's gonna stay here for now. Well, a boat with a couple 100 gallons of water in it is very heavy. And honestly, that wore me out. So I think I'm gonna head back to the house. So over the last several weeks now, I really have not felt like I've got too much done around here. Maybe you guys watching the videos, maybe you kind of feel the same way, because everything I've been doing, it seems like it's like daily chores. It's kind of like little tasks here and there, just small little tasks, little jobs maybe to keep me busy. And I just don't feel like I have accomplished anything major. Like these little daily tasks, they don't really give you like a sense of accomplishment. They're just things that need to be done. And I've got some big jobs that I need to tackle, but I can't because of the ground conditions. I need everything to dry out and the ground to firm up so that I can use some of these bigger pieces of equipment and get out there and tackle some of these jobs. And so I feel like I'm in this holding pattern, right? I'm just sitting here waiting for the right conditions so I can get out there and do some of these other jobs that I really want to get done. And of course, this week, like everything went the total opposite direction. 5 days of rain, everything got worse. I feel like I am no closer to tackling some of these jobs. So I will admit these last 5 days have been pretty discouraging, being kind of stuck inside and just everything's just miserable out here. But at least today was nicer. It was a beautiful day. Got some blue skies, and looking at the weather forecast, it looks like out of the next like 7 days, I think there's like 2 days of possible rain, which is way better having 5 days without rain than what we did. So hopefully over the next week or so, things will start to improve. They'll start to dry out. I've got my fingers crossed, but I really would like to tackle one of these bigger jobs, and it's just driving me nuts not being able to get out there and do it. And yeah, I just got to be patient. And yeah, I'm just kind of, I guess I'm getting antsy sitting around like tackling all this small stuff. Like I'm not getting enough seat time in the tractor. Maybe I'm not getting enough equipment time. So I don't know, whatever it is, it's about to drive me nuts, and hopefully things will change here pretty soon and I can tackle some of these other jobs. But I think as far as this video goes, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.